welcome to the final Alvin Yellow Jacket football show. I'm your host, Phil Jean, along with Coach Matthew Bass. And hey, we've snapped that 4-game losing streak with Alvin winning 28-20 over Pasadena Memorial right here at home in front of a fun crowd as we opened up with the Hall of Honors first. And then, of course, you guys played the game, winning 28-20. What were your impressions on finishing the season with a win to improve to 3-8 overall?
You know, I've said this a couple times, but, you know, I felt like the defense slowly got better and then kind of plateaued, but I thought the offense still had a lot of room to grow, and I think last Friday's game was a culmination of that thought. I mean, you know, we had around 410 yards total offense, multiple touchdown kids. You know, we had a kid get, I think, 108, 110 yards receiving. That's the first time since 2017 that's happened. So a lot of great things. And, you know, it's one of those things that we did so well offensively. We lost the turnover battle 3-0 and we still won by 8, and that's very, very hard to do.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, you were just talking about that 100-yard receiver. It's James Keeland, 118
yes, sir.
yards.
118.
You even shortchanged him.
I said 108, 110. You know.
There you go.
Good deal.
217 yards rushing. That's what you had to be probably most excited about. That was a season high for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, when you establish a run game, it opens up so much more. And I really, truly believe that we've just continued to progress in the run game. We've been getting really good at buck sweep. Our practice was one of the first weeks where I saw, you know, defensive starters' bodies flying left and right when we're doing pull schemes. And that's something that kind of gave me a little bit of, okay, let's see if we can replicate it on Friday night. And you know, there's a few plays, you know, one of the long runs by Roush was a buck sweep to their sideline. Baez completely cleans a guy. Jacoby Smalls takes a guy to the sideline, and then Baez ends up throwing J.J. Roush into the next defender for about 15 yards total. So what a great night for us in the run game.
Pretty awesome. We're going to dive deep into those highlights right after this as we mark their 4th win over Pasadena Memorial in a row. All right, welcome back. Let's now dive into these highlights. Lots of them and some great plays to just go over.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at them.
Let's take a look at these.
This is just a levels concept here. Got the curl route by Colin Bro, sophomore receiver. Really like his ability to be able to catch in traffic, turn up field, turns it into a touchdown where, you know, it should have been down right there, but he turns over and, you know, goes an extra 15 yards for a score.
Great zip on the ball by DeSanto on that one.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at that next play.
This is just an RPO glance. James Keeland here, who's, you know, ever since he's been back from injury, he's been a big part of the offense. Really like the way that his timing with DeSanto is getting better and better every week, and a, you know, big part of that this week.
Well, they're also on the same page because, like you mentioned, Keeland played some quarterback as well, so they understand that offense
Absolutely.
quite well and are in sync with each other.
Absolutely.
Again, Keeland with game high 118 yards receiving, the first time a receiver's had over 100 yards in 7 seasons. So let's take a look at the next play.
So here, pocket collapses a little bit, and then Doug Flutie gets on the edge and starts running down the sideline. You know, one of the things that I was worried about early in the season was his ability to make plays with his legs a little bit. I think that he's gotten better at doing so. Part of that, I think, is confidence, but also I think that our ability blocking downfield at the receiver core has helped us a little bit as well.
Yeah, DeSanto here had 88 yards rushing, which was a career high. Add that to his 193 yards passing. That was a heck of a performance by him.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the next play.
J.J. Roush does what J.J. Roush does, right? Finds the back gap cut, makes out the back end, spins off a defender, gets in for the score. You know, the thing with this kid is he might not always hit the correct gap, he might not always make the best read, but the cliche of it is he does it 110,000 miles an hour, and he's going to try and get whatever he can regardless if he made the right decision or not. And that's, you know, the motor this kid has is uncommon.
Yeah, part of 217 yards rushing on the night, a season high. And he is effective at using the spin button.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the next play.
Okay, here's one that kind of capped it off. It's just our RPO glance again, but the ability to make a play, what should have been about a 12-yard gain, ends up being about a 50, 60-yard gain for James Keelan there. Hit the glance, put the stop on it, right? And then get outside, outrun 4 or 5 defenders for a score here. What a great job here by James, just being an athlete making a play.
Yeah, 63-yard TD right there, 118 yards receiving. Heck of a night for him. All right, that brings us to the player of the game, I believe, right? Or we got one more? No, I jumped ahead. We got more action. Show it.
So J.J. Roush, once again, we talk about his ability. You know, the kid's not a very large kid, but his ability to stay up and play like he's a larger kid is really good. I mean, stiff arm in the ground here, staying up, right? This kid does not go down with one tackle. You just really never know what you're going to get out of this kid.
He's small, but he has great vision. You see him explore that hole and just see where the opening is and find it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at our next. There it is. I knew it was coming. Offensive player of the game. I was too excited.
That's
because
right.
He had a heck of a game. 193 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. We saw both of those. 88 yards rushing. His longest scramble, we saw that as well. Just a heck of a game for DeSanto, and really a great season for him in terms of growth and just starting to kind of understand the offense a little bit better.
Right. Well, and you know, anytime the quarterback has a good game, that means that everybody else involved is doing their job and having a good game as well. And I said that early on, but I think that this game was a culmination of our offense finally getting to that point, right, where we would have been had we had spring football all this time. You know, I mean, really and truly, we've only been in this offense for about 4 months. And, you know, the ability for these kids to continue to buy in and take care of business through the ups and downs and finish the season in the right way, I think was a really good thing to see.
And what we saw against Pasadena Memorial is the vision. A good balanced offense, that rushing, leading, opening up those passes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Pretty impressive there as well. So let's take a look at the first defensive play.
So we had some early issues defensively. You know, Cash Powers makes a great play on this deep ball here. You know, where earlier in the game he didn't play it so well and went for 7. And so once again, this senior class and their ability to bounce back, you know, play the next play. I think Cash Powers ended up coming out for a little bit, going back in, coming out, going back in, and you know, ended up being a big part of the defense in this, you know, this stop against Memorial.
Never giving up on the play and finding a way not to commit a penalty on that, because
Right.
you'll often see that. All right, let's take a look at the next play.
So this kid right here, number 41, Ryan Esparza, really good just down the line play. This kid actually came from Pasadena Memorial last year, got here in the spring this year. Was a role player guy. We've had multiple injuries. And you know, we had one kid that failed. The only kid on varsity that failed this year was an inside backer spot, and he became a starter for week 11, right? So we always preach to the kids that, hey, you got to practice how you want to play, because you never know when your number is going to get called. And he was a starter this week and had a really great week for us. Very, very happy with his production and his ability to stay locked in and continue to work, not knowing when he's going to get in.
Good solid tackle there. Good effort right there. Let's take a look at the next play.
This is a good job by Fobbs here, right? This is a kid that played running back, moved over to the corner because he's got speed. Really good job breaking up this slant. However, we get a 15-yarder because
he was so impressed with it.
So impressed with it, right? He's leaning over telling him how good he is. Well, they flagged us for it. But, you know, the ability of this kid to come from being a running back the last 3 years of his career to help us out in the corner spot was great. We talked about it. There's no malice out of this kid. He's just, you know, we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
The timing
sometimes.
was perfect. And
absolutely.
He let everybody know about it.
Absolutely, he did.
All right, let's take a look at the next play.
Another good play here by the front. This is Ryan Esparza fitting through. Colton Meyer had a chance at it, but once again, the thing we talk about is never assume, right? Meyer has a tackle, gets pulled off of it. Well, we got 3 or 4 more Jackets there ready to take him down.
So another tackle for loss. You gotta like it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the next play.
We were talking about this earlier, watching the clip, but Jacob Baez has started both ways for us this year. He's pretty gassed in this game. This game was over 3 hours long, and at this point, this is late in the game. We're on the headset talking about taking him out, and then he busts through the line, sacks the kid, and we say, all right, never mind, we'll leave him in. Just a good highlight, good way to end his senior season as well. Made quite a few plays on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball for us.
One of 2 sacks on the day for your defense. So good one right there. Let's take a look at the next one, which might be a preview of the other sack.
Yes, sir, I believe it is.
Here we go.
We got a 5-man blitz off the edge here. This is Will Mowerhand. Will's a kid that knows everybody's job on the defense, and so it's good to see Will come off, know exactly what to do, beats the kick blocker on the edge, and once again, this is like the last series of the game. It's second and 10 from the 13-yard line, and we put him all the way back there. What a great job by Will to really pin him deep right there at the end. This is probably, there's 19-ish seconds left in the game right now.
That's a huge play because, again, you guys won 28-20, and they are threatening, and that kind of ends that threat right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, we've talked about him, Ryan Esparza, the defensive player of the game in this one, very active. He had 3 of your quarterback pressures. Had one of the sacks. Just an impressive game from him.
Right, and I already kind of spoke on him a little bit, but you're talking about a kid that was at practice day in and day out, never questioned about, am I going to get this kind of time? Am I going to be here? I'm going to be there. Just kind of did his role, and we'd quietly been talking as a staff about this kid's, I think, progressing left and right. We had some injuries. He came in, played a little bit, didn't look too bad. And so going into this week, we were like, well, let's give him a shot. Let's see what he's got. And I mean, he ended up with 5 total tackles, 4 of them being assists, a couple pressures, and a few other things. And so really a great culmination of that student athlete to continue to progress all the way through the season without trying to be selfish about worrying about, well, I'm not getting what I want. He was a very team-led, team-built player.
Team-oriented.
Yes, sir.
Love it. All right, let's go to the special teams. Got a couple of plays to look at there, including a great kickoff return. So let's take a look at that.
So a kid that you're going to be hearing a lot more about over the next few years is Colin Bro. He actually didn't want to do special teams when I talked to him at the beginning of the year. He just wanted to focus on offense. Well, you're probably going to see him in every snap of the ball game next year. Defense, offense, all the return games. The kid has just gotten better and better. This is only his sophomore year. If he's a junior, maybe he puts that ball left side, stiff arms that guy, and goes to the house on him. But he's a threat to be reckoned with when he has the ball in his hands, and so I'm really looking forward to him moving forward. But on top of that, I've talked to our special teams coordinator, Coach Davis, about this, but we have consistently gotten better, just like offensively, consistently gotten better on special teams throughout the year. So really looking forward to see how that moves into next year as well.
All right, and then let's cap it off with a guy that really gave it put his best foot forward.
Yes. Look at that. Ta-da.
Yes.
So this guy, Gustavo Nieves, right, soccer kid, came out about 3-4 weeks ago. Wanted to see if he could kick for us. We said, let's try him out. Kicked okay, had him on the JV. 2 weeks ago, we needed him to come up and play varsity football, and ever since then, he's been absolutely perfect on extra points. Really like his energy. Almost had a little bit too much energy here with his little bowstring shoot arrow thing. Ref had to talk to him afterwards. But I told him, hey guys, this kid's new to it. Heck, he kicked the ball off before the refs blew the whistle one time. But real excited to have him. He's real excited to be a part of the team. Just a cool little story.
Gotta love it, and that's why we show it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to come back right after this break and kind of wrap up the whole thing because it's going to be a time to say goodbye. All right. We'll see you just in a bit. All right. Welcome back. Okay, Coach. This is the last time, so
Sure.
Make it good. Tell us what your final thoughts are of this 3-8 season and the progress you've seen.
It's one of the things that, anytime you come into a program and you're changing the culture, you're changing the mindset, changing the offense, changing the defense. You're going to expect some things to be tough. I think that we did some good things. I still believe we left some things on the field. You know, there's a game or two in there that I think we had some chances that we didn't take care of. But for the kids to be able to bounce back from a 4-game losing streak, right, and coming back and beating Pasadena Memorial at home, right, being able to withstand, right, because we had a good lead, then we got it cut down, goal line stand at the end versus the defense. I think the biggest thing that and I've talked to a lot of the seniors about this, is their ability to hold the line, be accountable, and buy into what we're doing here. They're setting the seniors went 3-7 as a class, but they're setting the foundations for success here at Alvin High School. And that's going to make us just that much better in the offseason. You know, we've already started offseason. We pulled gear early in the week, and we're already running and gunning. So it's going to be some exciting things going into the spring. We'll have spring football, great summer work with 7-on-7, and then we'll be right back at it. So really excited to see what's going forward.
How many seniors are leaving this program? Because, I mean, there's a lot of youth on this. You talked about Colin Bro, that's a sophomore. Bingham's a sophomore. I mean, there's a lot of young kids.
As far as returning starters, we're going to lose 3 D linemen, 3 offensive linemen, a receiver. Yeah. And so we're getting quite a bit back out of that junior class, some good sophomores. So really looking forward to having almost all the offensive skill back besides Hayden Perkins, really and truly out of the starting lineup. All the defensive skill back besides, Fobbs, we put him in. And got some good players at those lower levels on the D-line and linebackers that got a bunch of time in. And then got a few returning starters and some guys that showed some time on the offensive line. So really looking forward to a great offseason, great spring ball to really get these kids. I think that with what we've done in 6 months of football, having a spring football and another full summer like that, I think that we have the potential to be leaps and bounds where we are this year.
That continuity is going to be key.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that wraps it up, and we get to speak and finish it on a good win. Again, a 28-20 win over Pasadena Memorial. Coach, I'm going to let you do the sign-off.
Jacket pride never dies.